Hi, this is Eric Leuschner from Real Property Management in Blacksburg, Virginia, where you can own the home and not the hassle. This is the next video in our series on landlord investor education. I hope you enjoy this as much as you have enjoyed the other videos. A couple of caveats to begin with. I'm not an attorney, so nothing I say should be construed as legal advice. I am not a financial advisor. Nothing I say should be construed as financial advice either. I am a licensed real estate agent in the Commonwealth of Virginia and a realtor. So today we want to talk about whether you should rent your house furnished. Why would you want to rent your house furnished? Well, it will help you attract some short-term renters, which is a good or maybe not good thing. It will help you stand out in the market a little bit. So if you're in a market with predominantly unfurnished houses and your house is furnished, that's going to make you a little bit different and it's going to bring a little bit more attention to you. And you have the potential to get a slightly higher rent if the house is furnished. So, of course, what does furnished mean? A lot of times people want to rent their house furnished, but what they really want to do is they have a few odds and ends of furniture in there that they don't want to take the trouble to get rid of. And so they're just saying, well, we'll just rent it furnished. That's probably not what you want to do. If you don't want to live with that furniture, then nobody else is really going to want to live with it either. So there's different levels of furnished. Maybe you just have the big furniture in there, the beds, the couches, the tables, the chairs. That allows people to move in. They would bring their own pots and pans and dishes, and of course, their own clothes. You could have a fully furnished house like you would for an Airbnb. So that might include some decorations, some linen, some cooking utensils, and then you have your turnkey house, which is what you would think of as like an Airbnb, where you can walk in with your suitcase and live in the house. So we talked about some of the potential benefits to renting your house furnished, one of which is you have a slightly higher rent potential. A lot of that's going to depend on your market, and a lot of that's going to depend on the type of house that you have. In our student housing market, short rentals, furnished rentals are not super attractive. We find that most students these days have their own furniture, although you will have some international students coming in that may at least want that partially furnished house with the beds and tables and chairs. One thing to be careful of is mattresses. Probably a good idea to put a new mattress on the bed after every time that a tenant moves out. Nobody wants to sleep on a used mattress. You may also get some corporate people staying there, depending on your market. And uh, we also are contacted by insurance companies. If somebody's home had a fire or some other type of catastrophic damage, and the house is going to be unlivable for 6, 8, 10 months, then oftentimes insurance agents will call around looking for a furnished rental for their clients. Some of the downsides of running your house furnished: that furniture is going to get a lot of wear and tear. Uh, you have no control over people sitting on your couch, putting their feet on your couch with shoes on, putting their feet on your coffee tables or other tables with shoes on. They may spill something on the couch. You just really don't have a lot of control, particularly people with pets. You're going to get potentially a bunch of pet hair in that couch or in the carpets or whatever, and it's not going to be as attractive to a potential renter. Everything, is not going to be payable by the tenant. There is fair wear and tear. Couches and chairs and tables don't last forever. So if this is going to be a long-term furnished rental, then you're going to have to replace that furniture at some point, and that comes with a cost. You also have a smaller group of people that are looking to rent the property. The majority of people have their own furniture, and they're not looking to rent a furnished house because then they have nowhere to put their furniture. We talked a little bit about the costs and replacement. So you're going to have to purchase all that furniture and anything else you plan to put in there. Again, nobody wants to live in a house with the furniture that's 25, 30 years old, and it's easier to rent the house furnished than it is to get rid of the old furniture. That's not a good strategy for renting a furnished house. You are going to have to maintain that. We talked about cleaning the couches, replacing the mattresses. Uh, Dishes are going to get broken. Silverware is going to get lost. Linens are going to wear out. Towels are going to wear out. All those things have to be replaced. And you have to consider whether that increased rent that you're getting is going to offset the cost of replacing that. We talked a little bit previously about who's looking for uh, a furnished rental. And again, the international students here in our town are sometimes looking for that. Your insurance companies, you may have a manufacturing facility in your area, and people are coming in short term to do work there and won't be staying for more than a few months. So we talked about the market quite a bit. So before you decide whether you're going to do a furnished rental, you need to make sure you understand your market. And is there a market for furnished rentals? A good indicator, if you go out and look and there's nobody offering furnished rentals, particularly larger property management companies, there's probably a reason for that. And they've probably discovered that there's not a lot of demand for it. So just to sum it up, furnishings can boost the rent, but they increase the cost. And it works best, furnished apartments work best with short-term rentals. Airbnb is very short. When we say short-term, we're talking in the 6-month time frame. And again, do your market research and make sure that there is a demand for furnished rentals in your area. So hopefully you've enjoyed this and gotten some good information from it. Please click like and subscribe. You can see all our other videos in our library on YouTube.